Hello, Pod Smashers of the Internet, and welcome to another 80-Bit Newscast! We are your hosts.
Penguin and Termite, I am Penguin.
I am Termite, and every single week we try to get here on twitch.tv/80bitpodsmash to run through the week's video game news that we care about, that we want to talk about, our punditry for your ears. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you head on over to 80bitpodsmash.com and check out all of our social media outlets, all of our websites. We have a weekly video game podcast as well, but this is the week of August 23rd. Sorry, the week before, the week ending August 23rd, because we're not going to know the future. So it's a Monday. Nothing's happened this week yet. So we're going to talk about last week. And
yes,
what else do we do? What's the deal with chat?
Chat, yes. Feel free to share your thoughts, questions, feedback, concerns, comments, or any other things you want to share with us. Salutations. Drop them in the chat at any time. We will hold off till the end, though, before we really respond to any of them, unless it's like a quick thing. But for the most part, we'll try to keep all of our feedback, your feedback, till the end. Also, as a side note, I am still, this is the first one we've done since my daughter's been born, right?
I think so. It has been a while.
Yeah, so I kind of have a makeshift setup here in my kitchen whilst my office is occupied with a newborn babe. So, yeah, pardon me if there's a bit of an echo in here. Number one, sound quality hopefully hasn't taken too much of a hit. I did my best to try to create a sound reduction around my mic. Also, the lighting isn't great in here, and because I'm limited in the amount of inputs I have, I'm down to just my laptop camera. So, if the quality seems a little bit less on my side, that's why. But here, new parent life, right?
Yep, we're building the bridge as we cross it. We're figuring it out as we go.
Exactly. So that's how that is. So oh sweet, someone just followed us this minute.
Fantastic. Thank you for the follow.
Yeah, welcome. Hello. In the meantime, yeah, we're gonna talk about the news. We're gonna give you our opinions on them as well. And we're gonna only talk about the stories that we really care about. So
that's right.
We have been off the air for like 3 weeks because again, baby.
And work trips.
And work trips, right? Yeah, exactly. So lots of things that have interfered with our ability to record this. So we're not going to be able to cover everything that's happened in the last 3 weeks, but we're going to try to hit what we can from the last week or so.
What we did cover is the Blizzard debacle in our actual podcast. So make sure you go back and check out the podcast discussions. We have 2 episodes. Well, I guess one's about to go live this week, a week from today. Today.
No.
Today.
If you want today, yep, one live today.
We have an episode about Blizzard, a hot wash, follow on of what happened, and from 2 or 3 weeks ago when Blizzard did California lawsuit. So go check that content out, and that's pretty much the news that we covered since we've been gone. And now we're gonna go. All right. So what are we talking about tonight?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we'll talk about it in the podcast. Tonight we're talking about several stories. So I'm going to hit the highlights, sort of the headlines, if you will. So we're going to be covering the Pokemon Present that happened, the Nintendo Direct that was Pokemon focused, and the kind of stuff they showed there. There were some announcements at Quakecon, so we'll talk about those. A new Call of Duty entry has been revealed, so we'll discuss that. Sea of Thieves has some news about the numbers and stuff, some of its numbers. So we'll talk about what they sort of revealed about their metrics. The Xbox Series X dashboard is finally going to 4K, so that's cool. I didn't know it wasn't.
Yeah, it's not.
CES 2022 is going to require, as an event, but it's going to be the first gaming-centered event that I'm aware of to require COVID-19 vaccine for entry, so that's probably controversial. Yeah, so we'll discuss that. And finally, there is some movement on the hardware, the PS5 hardware. We had sort of just previewed this a couple months ago in our news show, and so now we have a sort of an update as to what's happening in the PS5 hardware and availability space. So anyways, we'll talk about all that and just that. Hopefully we'll talk about all that and have enough time to. So we will jump right in, I guess, if you're ready.
Yes. First off, let's talk about everything that was announced or shown off at the Pokemon Presents presentation this week. I'm reading an article by Michael McWhorter over at Polygon. Everything announced. So, the Pokemon Company debuted a new Pokemon Presents video presentation on Wednesday, revealing the latest news on upcoming Nintendo Switch games, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Pokemon Legends Arceus. But that's not all. Pokemon fans also got updates on the free-to-play MOBA Pokemon Unite, 5-year-old mobile game Pokemon Go, Pokemon Masters EX, and puzzle game Pokemon Cafe Mix. Here's the big news from the latest Pokemon Presents, which sadly does not include an update to Pokemon Sleep, if you remember that. That was a long time ago. Pokemon Unite heads to mobile in September, so right now it's on the Switch, but it's coming to mobile devices on September 22nd. Pokemon Cafe Mix is getting remixed. These are kind of like their free-to-play mobile stuff, which is interesting that they have so much diversity. We'll get there. So what's new in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl? Nintendo Switch remakes of Diamond and Pearl will feature the original's minigames like the Pokemon Super Contests, the Underground with Dowsing minigame, and your secret base. Players will also be able to customize your trainers' outfits and even their Pokeballs with collectible stickers, and add visual effects to the throw animations. Launching alongside Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is a new Switch-Lite console featuring Dialga and Palkia, which they showed off. Looks pretty sweet. If you are looking to buy a Switch-Lite and you like Pokemon and you don't have one yet, it's pretty sweet. You should go look it up. So then the meat of the announcement, the thing I was the most excited about, was the Pokemon Legends Arceus content. They finally showed off a whole bunch of stuff. They showed a definite variation on the battles that we're all familiar with. When battles begin, players will have different style options for battling in a turn-based fashion, either strong or agile, which change the statistics on specific moves depending on the situations. Likewise, some Pokemon may be able to take a few turns in a row based on their stats. The turn-based mechanics definitely look familiar, but the changes look intriguing. So, had you watched this?
I did, yes.
So you saw like the turn order, how it switched whenever you were like in strength style or agile style. Sometimes you can get it twice.
I wasn't paying that close attention now.
It makes like, okay, so like in all Pokemon games, you have a speed stat. And it's important because it does kind of help you go first, but it's still like, I'm going to go, then you're going to go if I'm fast. Right. Well, this is like, now it's taking speed into account with these new styles where you can be stronger and slower or weaker and more agile. So you can take more than one turn in a row, which completely changes the entire dynamics of a Pokemon battle.
Right. It makes me think of ATB, the ATB system in Final Fantasy VII, the original, where it would like it all was dependent on your character's haste, and you could charge it up before the enemy got another turn. So,
but I always thought like
makes that stat way more interesting.
Stat-based moves like Sleep Powder. Okay, sleep is effective, but like paralyzed stuff, I would never favor that because I wasn't doing any damage. I would want to favor damage in my fights, and so I would never like think long term over the course of a long battle like status effects or anything like that, especially anything that raises attack or raises defense or vice versa, lowering those stats on the enemy. But now it changes everything. It's like I could do a couple of attacks to lower their defense and get a hit in, by doing agile. I don't know. It's going to be awesome. Like that to me was extremely exciting. I also liked seeing more of the game. I love the animations of like the Pokeball when you catch a Pokemon, how it kind of like shakes and then like a little firework goes up. It's like
right, because it takes place in the past.
Yeah.
It's not like modern Pokemon. So yeah.
So all of that was really, really cool. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. It looks fun. The one thing I did want to comment on is how polarizing the game's trailer was on Reddit, because there's this ongoing narrative amongst Pokemon fans, or at least former Pokemon fans, that Game Freak has not been putting any effort into Pokemon for years now. And the big thing that they keep showing is a screenshot from the trailer where objectively the graphics don't look great. I have never been one to particularly care too much about graphics, so as long as the gameplay looks fun and interesting, then I do still think the gameplay is enough of a departure from what Pokemon's done in the past that I want to try it, give it a shot at the very least, or I'm interested in doing so. I can see the complaints about the graphics not being great. They use the Breath of the Wild engine, and it shouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, fire your animators, right? Like, if they're not putting out good quality work with a quality engine, then what are they doing? But nevertheless, I don't care that much that I'm not one of those on Reddit that's sitting there being like, it looks like PS2 graphics and bleh. Like, I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't look great, but it looks fun. So it doesn't need to look great to still be fun. So we're actually going to have an episode on indie games in week because we're going to be recording it tonight, and we'll probably talk about that very idea. So, yeah, that's my only thought on Arceus' stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, one of like my favorite memories when Pokemon Sword and Shield came out were when you came over and we were like trading Pokemon so we could fill out our Pokedex and making sure we had like the items that could only be found to help evolve forms, different forms. Like you had to have a certain item that's only found in one game into the other one. Like that was awesome. And you were coming over to record. It was like, do we have time to play Pokemon? And we were like, get in there. It was just so cool. And I'm looking forward to that again with Arceus because it is the Breath of the Wild Pokemon that everyone's been clamoring for. It's going to be awesome. I'm really, really, really excited. And to satiate that desire, we have Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which are my second favorite Pokemon games now. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait. It comes out in November. So yeah, I'm pumped about that. What's next?
Quakecon happened, and it has lots of announcements from Quakecon.
Did you follow any of this stuff that was going on?
No.
Okay, sweet. Well, I'll run you through it all. This is
I probably saw some of the stuff, but
you did.
Yeah.
Bethesda.net has their little rundown. First off, there was a shadow drop, a surprise Quake announcement. There was a remaster from Night Dive Studios that was released the day that it came out. It came out today. It's not often that we get 3 industry legends together in one panel, but a celebration of 25 years of Quake is the perfect excuse to have ID Software studio director Marty Stratton and senior producer Kevin Cloud share their Quake and QuakeCon memories with Machine Games executive producer Jerk Gustafson. Yes, his name is Jerk. Announced during this all-star panel, Quake is back. Experience the shooter that inspired it all with the re-release of the original Quake, featuring cross-play, 4-player, co-op, multiplayer with up to 8 players, enhanced visuals, and more. Experience the high-speed retro action today with Quake, out now for PC, Xbox One, on Game Pass, PS4, and Nintendo Switch, with backwards compatibility to the Series X and PlayStation 5. So that's pretty sweet. That happened. There was a Deathloop update, which I'm so sick of hearing about Deathloop. Like... it's so much. But of course, they showed it off more.
Right.
Sorry, excuse me. Play as Deathloop's hero Colt as you try to break the time loop, keeping the island of Black Reef trapped in an endless cycle of chaos, or step in the antagonist Juliana's shoes and invade another player's campaign to put a stop to Colt's efforts. So, unique PvP goes on and on. There was an update to Fallout 76. Fallout Worlds brings unique adventures to Appalachia. You
live like right next door to Appalachia.
I had a moment where like I'm live and I'm reading and like you just don't remember how to say it. But if we were like drinking a beer and we were talking about the Appalachian Mountains, I would have said it right.
It's fair. There's probably a million different pronunciations within Appalachia as to how to pronounce it. Appalachia. It probably doesn't really matter.
Appalachia. With rotating public worlds and grants players the tools to customize their own custom worlds. Fallout Worlds comes to Fallout 76 on September 8th. Check out the full panel as Fallout World lead Bo Buchanan and design director Mark Tucker run us through the latest game updates along with the full scoop on public worlds, custom worlds, and everything that's possible with Fallout Worlds. So it looks like their way of doing mods on an all online. They're really like pushing Fallout 76. They are not letting that go. It's awesome. It's very, very well supported. There was an update to Doom Eternal. Hellshell hath no shortage of slain demons with update 6.66 coming soon to Doom Eternal. Get the scoop on this major update from studio director Marty Stratton and game director Hugo Martin as they discuss the 2 new master levels, Waves of Demons to Best in Horde mode, an all-new battle mode arena, and improved matchmaking. Nintendo Switch fans will also finish the Doomslayer saga later this month, with the Ancient Gods Part 2 arriving on the Switch August 26th. And then the other bombshell announcement that was pretty exciting across the internet, you may have heard, was that there's a Skyrim's coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. Come along for a lively ride on that iconic cart as a few of the original developers sat down together for Skyrim's 10th anniversary to share memories and insider stories while playing through the opening of their game. To bring in the occasion, Bethesda Game Studios announced the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition, which contains the full game plus all 3 expansions, Dawnguard, Hellfire, and Dragonborn, as well as the enhancements found in the special edition that came out before. The Anniversary Edition also contains over 500 unique pieces of Creation Club content, that's like mods for consoles, including quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, spells, and more. A lot there. And then there was some Elder Scrolls Online updates with some DLC being added to the game. There is a Walking Flames DLC coming out August 23rd and September 8th for consoles. Sorry, August 23rd for PC, September 8th for consoles. Players can try ESO Elder Scrolls Online now through August 30th during the free play event. So that's what's up with Quakecon.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I don't really care about any of that stuff. I really don't. I mean, I like Doom Eternal, but like I haven't played any of the DLCs and stuff. It was kind of a one and done thing for me. I do like the 6.66 update though. That's great. that's the quality I expect from a Doom game. Quality.
Do we know
clever.
when the PS5 version is it out yet?
I don't remember.
I think it is because I remember looking up the trophies, and you don't get to transfer your save. Yeah, so
I think it's out. It that sounds familiar.
So if I ever want to go back and play it, then I will.
Yep.
Yeah. So
well, you also made a comment about them like not letting Fallout 76 die.
Yeah.
I feel like the same could be said for ESO. Like ESO was not very popular when it first came out, and then but it still has had like multiple expansions, and it's still like a very well supported MMO. And I'm like, how? But it's Bethesda, right? They're like, I don't know. They have the resources and the ego to just, I think, just be like, people will love our games if we just keep supporting them. So good on them. Good on them. If they can do that, then go for it, man.
What everyone is clamoring for is a proper Xbox Series X and PS5 port or version of Fallout 76.
Right.
And I don't know why they can't make that happen, but that has not happened. You can get a 60 frames per second version on the Series X, but it lowers the resolution to 1080, so it looks fuzzy on a 4K screen. It's like, there's no reason. Just make this work. 4K, 60 frames. Let's go.
Just do it. Just make it work.
Make it work. I'm sure there's all kind of complications.
I saw something on Ask Reddit that was like, what's something about game design? They were Ask game developers, like, what's something about game design people just don't understand how complicated it is. And they were like, optimization. People just say, why don't they optimize it? And it's like, you don't even know how hard and how much time goes into optimization. Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you're in like the low-level memory registers of how video cards or consoles work to get that stuff optimized. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, cool. Awesome. So the next announcement was the latest, newest, hottest Call of Duty has been announced. Vanguard, going back once again to World War II. So it seems like
that's exactly why I wanted to talk about this. Normally I wouldn't put a Call of Duty announcement on here because neither one of us are super Call of Duty fans. I've played a lot of the older ones, but here we are. There's a couple reasons why I want to talk about this, but let me go through the announcement first, and then we'll circle back. So this is by way of Polygon from Austin Goslin. Watch the reveal trailer for Call of Duty Vanguard is the headline. A new game will take players on a tour of World War II. The latest Call of Duty game has its first full trailer. The trailer's release came during an Activision stream on Thursday, where the company revealed Call of Duty Vanguard. Vanguard is developed by Sledgehammer Games and is set to come out later this year. Call of Duty Vanguard is set in World War II, and its story is spread out across the entire expanse of the massive war. Much like the older games in the series, Vanguard will have a campaign that unfolds across multiple different point-of-view characters. This time around, each character will participate in the war from a different theater of the conflict, including North Africa, the Eastern Front, the Western Front, and the Pacific. That's a note that I like about this game that's different from the other ones. The trailer gives us brief flashes of hundreds of troops parachuting down from planes in what can only be a D-Day invasion, but also includes glimpses of massive dogfights that seem to be happening on the coast of the Pacific Islands, the massive tank battles that could only occur in the sands of North Africa. The trailer also shows off Stalingrad under German siege. It's coming out November 5th. At the same time Vanguard is being shown for the first time, Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard faces wide-ranging allegations that it maintains a toxic workplace environment that is particularly hostile to women. The lawsuit, filed by California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing in July, alleges the company pays women less, subjects them to sexual harassment, and that perpetrators are not meaningfully punished. You can read more about the allegations here.
Or you can listen to more about it
on our podcast.
In our episode that just dropped.
Yep. So funnily enough, the Activision logo is nowhere to be found in the trailer. So I thought that was... timing, right? Let's not put the name of the company that's being dragged through the mud right now in the headlines on this new trailer, trying to entice people who may not know that this is a published by Activision game. So that's one thing. Ridiculous. Two, maybe we don't play this game. Let's public service announcement. Go pay attention to our Blizzard conversation, because if you're going to boycott something, maybe you thought about this game, maybe you don't want to buy it, maybe you don't want to pre-order it. That's another thing. But going back to actually talking about what the game is, going back to World War II, which Call of Duty has done a million times. It actually started as a World War II game. Now they're approaching it differently, kind of like what Battlefield did, and this is what I wanted to talk about. So EA publishes Battlefield. Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 each have campaigns where you go through the eyes of a different character and tell a little story arc within each mission. It's kind of like, overall, it's the war. Well, now Activision's pretty much just copying that. Like, we're going to do the same thing, and now they're doing something different with their campaign. Instead of focusing on one group of people through the entire campaign, now it's going to be 4 different fronts.
I'm so bored by all of this. Nothing here sounds itches like, oh, they're copying Battlefield. Okay, so Battlefield already did the crazy innovative thing that they're doing. Yep. Wonderful. Can we just all forget that World War II happened for like a decade?
No,
like at least in the video game industry, the video game industry, right? No, I don't mean culturally. I'm sorry. No, very important history that we all don't repeat. But I mean in the video game industry, can we just be like, hey, this is done. We're done. It's played out. It's played out.
Well, also, another interesting thing here is the trailer shows a female protagonist for some of these stories, which is new for Call of Duty as well. And you just talked about like the cultural relevance and how we've shifted in the industries and as a culture and how we perceive things like American exceptionalism. When Call of Duty first started, it was white men and it was America, hoorah! Kill everyone, right?
In World War II, it was white men.
I know, yeah, right. So you want to be factually, but the storytelling you can do about it through a different lens might actually flesh out some of the other countries, some of the other relevancies of other things that are going on, and give you a little bit more fleshed out perspective of what actually happened in North Africa and the Western Front and the Pacific Islands. So I like that our perception has changed as a culture and as an industry, and different people are aging into the gaming industry. I'm hopeful that we get a little bit something different than just like Marines, hoorah, storm the beach, kill the Nazis, and go, because that's like done 1,000 times. So I'm hopeful for all of this. Maybe that's why you could care, but
no. In fact, what I wanted to talk about regarding this is someone I saw pointed out. This wasn't the first person to point it out, but this was I'm pulling from Paul Tassi over at Forbes, and he is echoing others who have pointed out that at this point, all of Activision's development studios are working on Call of Duty. The Activision wing of Activision Blizzard is entirely just 100% Call of Duty now. And I'll go through the list. Sledgehammer, who are working on Vanguard. Treyarch, doing zombies for Vanguard. Raven, Warzone. Infinity Ward, they're continuing with 29, like updating. Though they're doing Modern Warfare, the next installment of Modern Warfare, and continuing to update the current Modern Warfare.
Gotcha.
Beanox, Demonware, High Moon Studios, Activision Shanghai, and Toys for Bob are all working on a combination of Vanguard and Warzone as supporting developers. So, that's it.
Toys for Bob.
Yep, that's all of Activision's studios or development studios are right now. It may not be that way forever, but right now they're all working on Call of Duty, which is just makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, that's all they got.
There's no like EA doesn't do that. Like EA, which is a similarly large, publisher with lots of developers. They don't do that. Like I don't know, whatever. So cool. Can we move on?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Awesome. No, I wanted to talk about that one bit too, but as much as I wanted to talk about that last little piece, I'm so done talking about Call of Duty.
Every year. And now it's forever with free-to-play and Battle Royale. It's everywhere. Anyway,
right, well, we've got to blast through these because I have a child to take care of. Potentially.
Sea of Thieves has just had its biggest month ever. It's killing it right now. GameSpot by Eddie McCook talks about it. Microsoft's swashbuckling pirate adventure game Sea of Thieves continues to set records years after release. Developer Rare has announced that the game reached 4.8 million active players in June to set a new record as its busiest month ever. Of course, it did just have like the Pirate's Life expansion, but I just wanted to highlight that. That's all I need to say about that. Rareware is awesome. Sea of Thieves is amazing. Game Pass is crushing it, and all of the conversations about Game Pass and how it affects player base and exposure and attention, retention, all of those things. Like Sea of Thieves went from crazy griefing and bugs to poorly designed games as a service to now it's like shining, and it's awesome, and I love it. So that's why I want to talk about it. What do you think?
Ooh, awesome. Good on them. You know what I mean? And
go buy it so we can play together.
Yeah, it's totally the Game Pass bump, I should say. There's more I want to talk about with Game Pass. Something came out regarding Outriders, actually.
Oh yeah,
But we don't have to. We
I
don't have time to
almost
talk
put
about
that story
so.
on the docket tonight.
I would have been going to talk about. Yeah,
We should have cut Call of Duty and talked about that. Maybe next time we should chat about it. Okay, the next story, as we blitzkrieg through these, well, we're
4K.
Yeah, so this is hilarious. If you didn't know, the Xbox Series X did not have a dashboard that was 4K. So that's switching from that to the PS5, you're like, oh my gosh, it looks so bad. All the pictures are all,
I read that story and I'm like, is the PS5's 4K? It certainly doesn't seem like it's 1080. Yeah, okay, cool.
So Microsoft is starting to test a new higher resolution dashboard for the Xbox Series X today. Xbox insiders in the alpha and alpha skip ahead rings will get access to the increased resolution for the dashboard later today, designed to improve UI elements for 4K displays. This change means home, guide, and other areas of the UI will be displayed in a higher native resolution for increased sharpness and text readability. Until the dashboard comes out, everything's just 1080. Native elements for home, guide, and other parts of the dashboard will greatly improve. Yep. So that's coming. I don't know when. I have no clue. I guess the fall we'll see console updates. But yep, I'm excited about it. It looks
hashtag console gaming. Oh,
I know, right?
I roll.
PC Master Race. All right, CES 2022 to require proof of vaccination against COVID-19. The tech gathering is going back to Las Vegas after an all-digital event this year, so next year, 2022. It's actually going to be in January, I believe. People attending CES, that's the Consumer Electronics Show, I believe. That's what it stands for?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I think you're right.
We'll be in Las Vegas.
It's not an exclusively gaming event.
Right.
Sorry, I think I
all
mentioned that.
Consumer, but video games have a good presence there because it's consumer electronics.
Right.
So anyone in person attending in Vegas will be required to show proof of vaccine for COVID-19, the Consumer Technology Association announced on Tuesday. The decision comes as the annual tech event will once again welcome people to Las Vegas after holding an all-digital conference in 2021 due to the pandemic. Quote, "We all play a part in ending the pandemic through encouraging vaccinations and implementing the right safety protocols," said Gary Shapiro, president of the CTA, in a release. "We are taking our responsibility by requiring proof of vaccination to attend CES 2022 in Vegas." What do you think about that?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sick of playing nice anymore with this whole thing. The Delta variant was maybe not entirely avoidable, but certainly mitigatable if people had played along with what. And I'm sorry, but I'm not even apologizing for it anymore. This is just how I feel. This whole thing is a complete mess.
Yep.
So yeah, more places should start. I mean, quite frankly, if I got infected at a I don't know what legal grounds there are for this kind of thing, but like there's a liability at risk, right? Like, one could make the argument that like I should be able to sue if I get COVID-19 because they didn't take the right safety protocols, right? Like, that's just my thoughts on it. So anyways, but I'm glad they're doing it. I would like to see more things do it, and they're well within their rights to do it. You'll have people on one side of the political spectrum, not going to say which, that would say that's whatever, fascist or communist or whatever words they want to throw out there. But it is a private industry, like a private events, a private company's right to demand that. So
free market capitalism, baby.
Get out.
Yep. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
You wanted it. There it is. Go get it. Walmart wants to mandate vaccines. They can do it. It's up to them because they're a free business operating independently of the government. But we digress. The Pfizer vaccine is getting FDA actually approved, meaning that the federal government can now start mandating vaccines for employees, and such. Anyway, that's a whole thing. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Last, but certainly not least, we talked about Sony updating their PlayStation 5 model, 2 months ago. The actual first ones have hit the stores on shelves in Australia. On shelves is kind of a joke because they're not on the shelves, but they're in Australia. Sony's new PlayStation 5, this is The Verge, written by Tom Warren, is lighter and doesn't need a screwdriver. Sony has quietly launched a revised PS5 model. An Australian-based gaming site Press Start reports that the revised PS5 models include a new screw for the base stand that no longer requires a screwdriver. Sony reportedly swapped out in a new screw with a grip around it to the top so you can easily adjust by hand. Press Start also reports that these updated PS5 models are around 300 grams, which is just over a half a pound lighter than the original, but it's not clear what Sony has removed or changed to bring the weight down. The new PS5s ship with a different model number. It's CFI1102A instead of the CFI1000 found on the original. So we have a now launch model. I'm excited. That just raises the value of my console because I have a launch model now.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty cool because one of the things about the screwdriver was the complaint that you had to have a screwdriver just to go from horizontal to vertical and whatnot. The solid state drive is still the same mess. You got to pull the whole thing off to get there with the screw and all that. But anyway, there you go. First revision, PS5.
Cool. Yeah, I'm the only reason I'm glad I have a launch model is so that I don't have the the placebo effect of thinking that my not launch model is less powerful, because I'd be sitting there like analyzing every frame, being like, is it 60? Is it going at 60?
That's what Digital Foundry is for. If there's any differences in performance, then they'll point it out.
Word.
Yep.
So I'd be interesting to see if they do an analysis of it when it comes out, because it's probably not, but still, peace of mind. So all right, well, that's time. So that's our show. So nothing in chat to respond to. So if you are watching this later on YouTube and are like or on Twitch replay or whatever, and are like, I wish I was there to have said this thing, then the best thing you can do is go to twitch.tv/80bitpodsmash, or if you're already here, hit the bell, thingy, subscribe button.
Follow us.
Subscribe, so that way you know when we're going live. If you don't want to watch us live or can't watch us live, then please stick around. We're at YouTube, where the long-term home of our newscasts go. So I don't even know what our YouTube. Is it Penguin and Termite, or do we change it to 80-bit Podsmash?
We are not cool enough on YouTube to have our own URL, so it's just some scrambled combination of letters. So if you want to go to YouTube and find our channel, you can get it through 80bitpodsmash.com.
That's it.
There's a YouTube link. You can hit that. That'll take you right to our channel.
Yep, and then you can do then you can subscribe there as well to be notified when our videos go live. So, cool, awesome. And anything else you want to share with them before we go?
80bitpodsmash.com, landing website, podcast, subscribe, like, share, follow, and obey. What is that Borderlands 3 line? Give us your thoughts.
Subscribe, and obey. I think it was like, follow, and obey, or like, subscribe, and obey.
You're supposed to know this, but
it's been a while.
It has been a while. So definitely tell your friends about us. Come join us in chat. Communicate us. We have a Discord server and the link to all of our show notes. We're everywhere on social media platforms. We would love to have you in your conversations. And that's it. We will see you on Wednesday with a live gameplay stream that I don't know what I'm going to play yet. So we'll figure it out as we get closer. Right here on twitch.tv/80bitpodsmash. Actually, you might cover for me. We don't even know that yet. So that's something else we got to talk about.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk.
That we will see you next week or later this week.